Hi and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kay Ross, and today I wanted to talk to you about some of the differences between doing online and face-to-face courses. Now, my background is in doing both, so I'm going to talk a little bit about both online and face-to-face and hopefully give you some information that will help you make a decision about what ones you want to do, and also some of the things to look out for when you're signing up to do a course, whether it's online or face-to-face. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to share the screen. So I'm going to bring up some slides. Here we go. So as I said, today we're going to be talking about online versus face-to-face courses, and one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because I've had a lot of questions about whether somebody should go to a face-to-face course or whether they should do online. And the reality is there is no right or wrong answer to either of those. There are, however, some things to be aware of when you're looking at doing an online course. So, for those again who don't know me, my name's Kay Ross from Kay Ross Biz. I've got my website there, kayrossbiz.com. If you've got any questions or feedback or you want to know anything more, then please email me, kay@kayrossbiz.com, and also got a Facebook page, facebook.com/kayrossbiz01. So that's me. Now, a little bit more about me is that I'm a coach. I'm also an educator, presenter and speaker. So I develop and have also run a lot of online courses. I've done them for myself, and I'll show you some of those courses in a little while. And I've also developed online courses for universities and business organisations, and I do enjoy doing that. The other thing I do enjoy also is doing face-to-face speaking and training. So I love getting up in front of groups of people and talking at conferences, workshops and training. So that's the other side of what I do. So that's a little bit about me. So question is, when you're looking at any course, whether it's online or face-to-face, I've developed a plan of asking 5 questions, and I call them the 5 A's of deciding on courses. So the first one is the course affordable? And that doesn't just include how much you pay for it. There's also a couple of other things to ask questions about, and I'm going to look at all of those in a little while. Also, is it accessible? So is the course easy to get to? Is it easy to access? What is the quality of the course? So is it A+ quality? And hopefully the answer is yes. Is it actionable? Now, what I mean by actionable is, does the course contain information that you'll be able to put into action immediately, whether it's a personal or business development type course? Does it contain what you need to be able to do something differently to what you're doing at the moment? And then the last A, number 5, is it available? And what I mean by that is sometimes I've seen a course and I thought, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. And then I have another look and I notice that it was held last week, or it's held in a couple of weeks' time, but I can't get there because I've got something else already scheduled in. So if you're signing up, especially for face-to-face, please make sure it's at a time that you can get to it. Now, the answer to quite a few of these is, if you look at some of the courses on Kay Ross Biz, you'll find that they are all affordable, accessible, A+ quality, actionable and available. Now, as I said, I'll talk about those more in just a moment. So let's start with the first one, affordable. Now, all courses, whatever you do, are going to cost money. How much you want to pay is really up to you. So the first thing I'd actually start thinking about is, when you look at a course, ask yourself, are there any hidden costs? And sometimes there are. I've been to some face-to-face and also online courses where I pay an X amount of money and then I find out there's extra charges for getting a certificate of attendance or completion, or there might be extra costs for workbooks or whatever. So see up front, double check everything before you hit that pay button so that you're really aware of what the cost is going to be for you. And as I said, do you pay for everything up front, or will you find down the track that they're asking for more money? And also, is there a money back guarantee? Now, in the world of courses, whether face-to-face or online, unless it's an ongoing course, you will probably find that most do not offer a money back guarantee. So the reality is, as soon as you pay for an online course and you download it, as long as it is what the advertising said it will be, you will not get your money back. If you're signing up for something like a 12-month course and you're getting one bit every month, you may be able to get some of your money back. So just be aware of that up front. When you're signing up for a course, please make sure you look at that. For face-to-face courses, some of them, especially if they're a little bit in the distance in the future, they may say that, you know, up until a month before the course, you can get 90% of your money back, 10% is kept for admin costs, etc. So have a look at that as well. The reality is most will not give you your money back, so please be aware of that when you hit that pay button. So let's talk a little bit more about money and what you're paying for courses. Now, at the cheaper end of most courses, if I'm, for example, looking at a face-to-face course, most of them at the cheaper end are going to be at least $300 a day, and that's for a 6-hour, which equals $50 an hour. Now, some will get up to thousands of dollars a day, especially for somebody who is seen as an expert in their field. And again, if you're wanting to pay that amount of money, then that's absolutely fine, but be aware of what you're paying for. Now, if it's face-to-face, you may need to add some extra costs such as transport, parking, time off work, time away from your business, refreshments if they're not supplied, babysitting if you've got kids, accommodation if you have to go overnight. And this can add hundreds to thousands of dollars to the cost. So again, I'm just saying, please be aware of this up front so that if you're booking yourself in for a $600 course and that's a good price, great. But if you have to add all of those in on top of it, it could then end up being more expensive. Sometimes, as I said, you have to pay extra for certificates and transcripts. And the alternative, of course, to face-to-face is online, where everything is included in what you're doing. Excuse me. Now, just wanted to look at some of these costs for a face-to-face. It's going to be, let's say you pay $1,200 for a 12 hours of 2 days course. Parking, $25 an hour, it's going to add about $350. Let's say you had to buy lunch and conservatively 2 lunches at $42. Time off or away from work. For example, if I did it out at 2 days pay at $15 hours by $35 an hour, that's $525, and that's pretty conservative. So with face-to-face costs, minimum maybe you have to add all of those up and it can pretty much double what you're paying for the course. Now there I haven't included transport costs, babysitting, etc. So just be aware. Now again, I love teaching face-to-face, and really if you want to go to a face-to-face course, great, go for it. Just be aware of the extra costs you might have to take into account. Now with an online course, pretty much what you see is what you get. So if the course starts at, says it's $27, well that's what you're going to pay. Be aware of how long the course is, whether that's $27 for half an hour or an hour or longer. Just be aware. Now at the moment with Kairos Biz, I've got some courses starting at $27 and I'll give you the address where you can have a look at those a bit later. Now, the second day was accessible. Now this is more for face-to-face, but it can also be for online courses. In terms of accessibility, what I'm talking about is, do you have to travel to access the course? And here I've got some people sitting on a bus and not looking all that thrilled about probably being stuck in traffic. So how easy is it for you to access the training? I actually was looking at an online course recently that looked interesting, but it turned out I had to jump it felt like I had to jump through 15 hoops to get there. And what was happening was every time I thought I'd got to the web page where the course was, there was yet more information that I had to read before I could go any further. And the reality is I gave up. So when you're looking at courses, is it easy for you to access them? As I said, it sometimes feels like you need to jump through hoops just to attend a training, and it really doesn't have to be like that. Next question you need to ask yourself is, how do I get there, especially for face-to-face? So how much time does it take to get to the venue where the training is held? Here in Australia, most capital cities and most larger metropolitan areas have a lot of traffic. So it can be, if a course is starting at 9 o'clock, you may have to allow a lot of time to get there to be ready at 9. And once you find the building, where is the room? Recently, I was going to a face-to-face course and I had the room number written down and I could not find it. And I found some other women wandering around trying to find it as well. And what we ended up having to do, because there's nobody to ask, was we actually called the office of the company that was running the course and asked them, how did we get to the room? They had absolutely no idea, but they did get somebody to call us back, and we finally found the room and found that everybody else had the same problem. So, you know, it's something that can happen, and I know for myself, if I'm running a face-to-face course, I really make sure that everybody knows exactly where it is and how to find us. So if somebody has a disability, is the face-to-face training easily accessible for those who have disability, especially in terms of stairs and wide doorways, etc. And of course, is there parking nearby, or is there public transport? So is it easy to get to? Another course I was going to, or I was thinking of going to, it turned out I had to fly in, which I knew that already. But then when I got to the airport, it was a 2.5-hour drive to where the course was being run. And I actually decided not to go because I realised that that would add an extra 2 nights accommodation to my time away, because I would have had to come in the day before to be at the course at 9 o'clock in the morning, and vice versa at the end of the course, which finished at 5 o'clock, I didn't have the time to get back to the airport and get on a flight home. So again, I decided not to go. A 2.5-hour drive for me, coming from another city and having to drive 2.5 hours both ways, didn't work for me. So I decided not to do that particular course. And so just be aware of that. When you're signing up or looking at a course, know where it is and know ahead of time how you're going to get there. As I said, this can add hours onto the time you need. So it might be the course itself is 6 hours, but you need 2 hours to get there in the morning because of traffic and 2 hours at the end of the day. So a 6-hour course ends up being about 10 hours. So that can be a long time. Sometimes it's worth it and you think, yeah, I'm aware of that, I'm happy with the 2 hours. Other times you might think, no, I need to go somewhere that's more convenient or nearer home so I don't have to deal with the public transport. Alternative, of course, is online training, where you can access the courses 24/7. For example, courses that I've got on Kairos Biz, but obviously any online courses, as long as you've got decent internet and you paid for the course, you should be able to access it anytime, anywhere. Now, when we talk about A+ quality, what I'm meaning is some questions to ask. So first of all, who develops the course? Is it somebody who knows what they're doing? Is it somebody who is used to developing courses online, or doing courses face-to-face? Now, I don't know about you, but I have been to some face-to-face courses where I was absolutely horrified that the person who was up the front speaking didn't seem to know what they were doing. I've also seen some online courses where I've looked at the content and it's been pretty bad. It definitely was not A+ quality. So know that ahead of time, look at reviews if there's any, and know what you're getting yourself in for. So ask yourself, who developed the course? How long ago was it? Again, I was looking at an online course recently, it looked interesting, and then I happened to notice that it had been developed 4 years ago, and I decided, no, there's a lot happened in the last 4 years, and I wasn't happy to put my time and money into a course that was 4 years old. What background and expertise do they have? So depending on what topic they're talking about, ask yourself, does this person know what they're talking about, and how do you know? So look at the reviews, look at what they say about themselves. Have they done this before, or is this just something they've thrown together and it's not going to give you any information you don't already know? Now, one thing I did want to say is the quality of course is not reflected in what you pay for it. I've been to some very expensive courses that weren't all that good, and I've been to some quite cheap courses which were really good. So really, the quality is not reflected in the price point. So be aware of that. You can get good quality courses and not have to pay an arm and a leg to be able to do them. Now also when you're thinking about quality, as I said, the bottom line is it up to date, is it relevant, and is it developed by someone who knows the topic? It should not be a recycled lecture or training that should have been included in its entity. Now what I mean by that, I actually went to a face-to-face training, and it was very good, and then I noticed that the person who'd done the training had put one of the an hour out of that 2-day training up on online as a course. So I had a look at it and I thought, gee, I'm glad I didn't have to pay for this, because the person who was delivering the course kept referring to other information that had been covered the previous day in the 2-day course, and she was also answering questions from the audience, but the recording, you couldn't hear what the questions were. So I personally would not have been happy paying for that particular online course. Yes, it had some good information in it, but because it was plucked, if you like, out of a 2-day course, then I don't think it worked. So really, when you're looking at buying an online course especially, please make sure that the course that you're buying has been specifically developed for the online courses. Now, I've also seen people who've put up recycled lectures, so it could be that they're lecturing in a university and they throw that lecture online and then try and sell it. So again, just look at what they're doing, how they're doing it, and also have a look at the feedback that they have about the courses that they are offering. So alternative is an online courses where everything's specifically designed by expert for the online environment. For example, as I said, no recycled lectures, no 1 hours plucked out of a 2-day course, etc. So there's plenty of online courses that do it really well, and of course the ones that I'm going to show you in a little while have been specifically developed for the online environment. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the course you're looking at actionable? Now, what I mean by that is, does it contain information that you can put to work straight away? So is the topic something that you can put into practice immediately? So if you're going to either a personal development or a business building course, or you're doing one online, does the information in that course pertain to you, and is it something you can actually use? As you complete the training, you need to be thinking about how this will work in your own business or work or personal life. So as you're listening to the course, as you're listening to this course, hopefully you're thinking about, oh, okay, so the next time I look at doing a course, I need to really make sure that the person who developed the course knows what they're doing. That means that you're thinking about how you can put the course into action, how you can put the information that you're hearing about here straight into action. So that includes, can I use it? So you need to ensure that the topic and content relate to your area of business, if it's a business course, and that it contains relevant information that's actionable from day one, as I've done in the KROS Biz courses. Now, I also wanted to talk about, is the course available? As I've mentioned already, are there any limitations of when you can complete the training? Now, this can happen in the online environment where you sign up for a course and then you find out that you've only got access to it for the next week or the next month or the next 6 months. So be aware of that ahead of time. How available is the course that you want to do? Now, some online courses you might sign up to one where you're told that you'll get some of it now and then some of it in a week and some of it in the week after that, and that's great if that works for you. Other courses you sign up for say, here's the course and you get it all straight away. So just be aware ahead of time of what you're going to have access to and what's available. Availability issues can be minimised with online courses and training. Of course, as long as you have access to reliable internet, then you can complete the course at any time, 24/7. Again, as long as there's no cut-off date. I know that some people do have courses and they say this will be available for the next month, 6 months, 12 months. If that's the case, then just be aware of that. Can you do the course? For example, is it, if you're doing a face-to-face one, is it scheduled at a time that you can get there? Or do you need to take time off from work or annual leave or study leave in order to do it? So have a look at the schedule, have a look at your own schedule and really decide whether it's something that you can get to. And again, the alternative is to do an online course where you don't have to think about scheduling, you just do it when you're ready. So I've looked at quite a bit of information. So what I wanted to just remind you is to do your homework before choosing how to spend your time and money on any course, whether it's face-to-face or online. Ensure that you can use it in your business or work or your personal life if you're doing a personal development type course. So as I said, Kairos Biz, the courses that I've got available, tick all the boxes, so they're affordable, starting at only $27 for a course. They're accessible, so you can access them 24/7 online. They are high quality. They all contain information that you can put to use immediately, and they're available. As soon as you tick the pay box, you will get access to the courses. So as a bonus for people who've been watching this, I've got access, I'm giving you access to a free course, and this is available for a short time only. So the course that I'm giving you access to is called Conquer PowerPoint, because I find that this is a topic that a lot of people want to or need to know about, how to use PowerPoint properly. The usual price is $47. And that's in Australian, so if you would like access to it for free, you just need to click on the link below to access your free course. Now over here on the right hand side, I've got just a sampling of some of the courses that are available on Kairos Biz, and where I'm always adding more to them. There's 12 available at the moment, and if there are any courses that you would like to see there, then please let me know. Now, summary. For face-to-face courses, one of the big advantages is that you can have interaction with the presenter and other participants. It's a little bit harder to do that online. With online courses, you have more flexibility with accessing them, and a lot of the time they're usually cheaper because you don't have to add in all those other costs of transport and babysitting, etc. Both types, both face-to-face and online, can be engaging, and they can be high or low quality. So just because you're buying something online, you can't assume that it's going to be high quality or low quality, the same as if you went to something face-to-face. So the reality is you need to do your homework. You need to find out as much as you can about the course, look at any reviews if they've got any available, and also be really aware of what you're signing up for. So if there's any questions, then please let me know below. And also, if you would like me to present at your next conference, workshop or training, then please let me know. You can email me, kay@kairosbiz.com. And I've just included here a recent testimonial from Beverly Sheepers, who's a professional organiser. And as you can see, she talked about a presentation I did on motivational interviewing, and she says I was fabulous. I actually had a lot of fun with that group. The session was very rich in content. She clearly knows her stuff, and she'd obviously done the research to tailor the content to the audience. She was relaxed, relatable and funny, and got glowing feedback from all the delegates. Thanks, Kay. So if you'd like to chat to me about coming and speaking at a conference, keynote speaker, or if you'd like me to run a workshop or some training, then please let me know. I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you about that. If you've got an online course or training that you'd like help with developing, or you'd like me to take over, again, I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you about that. So I am an expert in online development, and I've developed online courses for universities and businesses across Australia. If you've got an online course that you want to get up and running, it can be hosted by you on your own business site or organisation site, or I can host it on my online portal. So if you're interested in that, contact me and we can chat about your needs. And you know, I'm happy to do just one course if that's all you need, or you know, ongoing weekly, monthly courses depending on what your needs are. So if you'd like to talk to me about any online training, courses, development you're thinking about, then please again email me kay@kayrossbiz.com. So that's it. I hope that you found this useful. As I said, my name's Kay Ross, and website there kayrossbiz.com, and email kay@kayrossbiz.com. If you would like access to the free course, which is open until the end of 2018, then please click the link below, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Bye-bye.